Hello everyone, welcome to part 5 of the video on the 6200A microwave radio test set repair. What we've done is we are currently feeding in to this diode pickup a signal at plus 20 dBm, and we have then got the output, what will be the DC output level, back to our multimeter, and we're not getting a thing, not a damn thing. So with the RF on or off, that's RF off, and that's RF on, there's nothing being recorded. And that's at plus 20 dBm, which is the maximum level the test set will give out. But I've opened the diode attenuator and the diode detector so we can have a look inside. So I'll get the little magnifying glass and we'll have a look inside. So that's what's inside the diode detector, and there's some little tiny bond wires as well in there. Let me see if I can get this thing to focus properly. Nothing ever works right, does it, when you need it to? Let's have a look. Right, see if it'll focus now. So that's what we've got going, zooming right in. That's maximum zoom. So we've got a connector there to the bottom of the picture, and then at the top of the picture is where it goes out to the signal input. So that's a 50 ohm whatever match load, and then with something right down there, that little tiny black spot in the middle. Now that's the diode on that die. And then I think we've got little cat's whisker diodes that are going off. Interestingly enough, that little gold pin on the connector doesn't seem to be soldered to anything. So I'm going to investigate this under the microscope to see whether it's a problem there. And have a look at those gold wires. You might just be able to see there's some little gold wires coming off that bottom right hand corner of the little island in the middle with a black dot on it. And they seem to go over to the gold part, which is where the solder is beneath. So there's that. The next one we'll have a look at will be the inside the this is the attenuator. So let me just try and orientate this round so we can see it better, or inside better, hopefully, and get some light on it. Let's have a look inside. Right. Yeah, so we've got those resistive elements there, I think, which are controlled by something. So from left to right is that gold strip is RF in and out, and then we've got an inductor which is in the middle, which goes off up here to where the supply comes in. So that's how it gets its supply there through that choke. And then we've got these little attenuators. They're the pin diodes, I presume, left and right. We've got one pin diode on the input, another pin diode on the output. So that's how that works. That's the diode attenuator, or the resistive pick-off attenuator, I think. Now we've got a third port on that, obviously, which is here. That goes to the module I've just shown you prior, and through this metal thing. And I think there must be somewhere down there, although I can't see it from this angle. I think there's a trace that must go off to that connector there somewhere. It might be on that side, actually. Yeah, I think it's that piece of trace there, which is at the bottom of the picture. I think there's something goes up there through that little round thing and then to this connector. So it's on the output, so it senses the output signal that's leaving here, feeds that up there to obviously pick up what's coming out. Right, so I'm going to investigate this pickup thing here. So something strange with that. I mean, we're feeding 20 dBm signalling, and yet it ain't picking it up. So I don't know, but if that's just the center that's connected there onto that island, that entire piece of you know, brass or whatever it is, gold, those bond wires are coming off that little island in the middle with a black dot and are going to what is the right hand side of the big island beneath, where the gold pin is from the connector. It doesn't look to me like the gold pin of a connector is soldered to the island, but I've got a sneaky suspicion there's actually another wire that can't be seen in this picture, which goes from the diode itself probably to that little gold pin, which is a center conductor of this connector. I think that outer shell where the metal pin's in the middle of is the ground connection perhaps, although I'm not sure at this stage. And then obviously that center pin there needs connecting. But when you look here in the PTFE, if I can get it to focus, which is incredibly difficult, there's a PTFE insulator there. So I think this could be where the fault may lie, is that it's not being soldered properly, because we can see the white PTFE circular insulator and the gold pin in the center of the RF connector coming through to that solder part there, and it doesn't appear to be soldered from what I can see of it. The outer shell, which the pin is presented within, is soldered, but the actual pin in the middle isn't. So perhaps that's where the fault is. But I do need, before I do anything further, I need to have a look at what, under a microscope, if there's any gold wires coming off that I can't see at this focus level that's going somewhere else, before we start sticking anything in, because we're talking just a few millimeters here. But looking at it at the moment, it does look like as if we've got the gold bond wires leaving the diode, which is the island in the middle with a black dot, going to the right hand side of that brass island, and then obviously it would solder to the center of the pin, and the center of the pin doesn't appear to be soldered at all from what I can see. So I don't know, it's weird. So that could be, it could just be a dry joint, a solder joint, a production fault. So I shall come back to in part 6 with my findings, and then we'll carry on from there. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I shall be back in part 6.